Hey, what's up, guys? What I want to do this morning is kind of go behind the scenes of the Sebastian Rogers case and kind of do an in depth look into the case. Let's get into it, guys.
For Behind the Story, where we kind of take a deep dive into some of the big stories that we've been covering. And this offers us an opportunity to really provide context and depth to some of the headlines that you've been seeing here on WSMV. I'm Amanda Hara. This is Michael Warwick, and he has been covering extensively the search for Sebastian Rogers, which is now in its fifth week.
Yeah, more than a month. He went missing February 26th. It's believed he wandered from his home, walked from his home, may have been barefoot. And here we are more than a month later, no sign of the 15-year-old with autism.
And Michael, I want to go back in time a little bit, because you were one of the first reporters who we sent to cover this story. And you were kind of there during one of these original news briefings, and you asked a very important question of authorities about surveillance video.
This would have been day 3 or day 4 when the investigators came out and briefed us as to where we stood in the investigation. And I asked the deputy chief, you've asked for all this surveillance camera footage, all this doorbell camera footage from across Sumner County, from those specific neighborhoods where he lived. Have you seen anything? Has anybody brought you a photo, a doorbell camera image that shows you Sebastian? And he said that no, they haven't actually been able to put eyes on Sebastian since that night he went missing, which really stood out to me as a reporter, because we know everybody nowadays has doorbell cameras. It seems like there's so many of them across the county, surveillance camera footage. And if he was to have walked away from his home, you'd think that somebody would have picked up a trace of him. And that was not the case.
It really is.
Okay, so what's going on here, guys? This boy disappears without a trace. There's no sign of him on any Ring doorbell cameras or anything. And he was supposedly just to walk out of his house and walk down the street barefoot. And there wasn't any sightings of him on the Ring doorbells, or that doesn't add up. That doesn't ring true. Because if he's autistic, yes. My nephew is autistic. He doesn't go anywhere without his mom or his stepdad. My nephew is 8 years old, and he's moderately to severe autistic. Now, I don't know if Sebastian is moderate to severe, but with my nephew, he doesn't go anywhere unless his mom and his stepdad go with him. So to have a 15-year-old autistic boy just to up and disappear, and being told that he just walked out of the house barefoot, but not being seen on any Ring cameras or anything, just doesn't add up to me.
Is mystifying, and you can kind of pick up on the fact that investigators feel frustrated with the lack of leads or the lack of movement, I guess you could say, in the investigation.
Exactly. It's something I sense talking with them. They are frustrated. They've covered 2,000 square miles in just a few days since he went missing in February. They've done another search this week. They're bringing in boats. They're bringing in ATVs and search dogs. They've got boots on the ground, walking through woods, checking ponds. And they have what they say is very few clues as to what happened to Sebastian. And it's something I sensed is that they are frustrated. And it's tough for them. It's tough for the public.
And it's interesting to kind of see, you know, they originally decided to scale back their search efforts, right?
Mhm.
So they said, okay, we've got people on standby. We're going to respond if we get a lead. We've got boots on the ground that can go immediately, but we're scaling back the search efforts there at the scene.
Yeah.
So that kind of happened. There was a lull almost in activity. And then within, you know, since yesterday and today, we've seen hundreds of people now back in the area around the home where he disappeared from, his family home. So it's just interesting to see, you know, go from this lull, no new leads from what authorities are telling us, to
Right.
all of a sudden, you know, this recanvassing effort that's involving hundreds of experts out there.
Right. Some new people that are out
Yeah.
there that hopefully can shine some light on some things that they may have missed. It's important to point out that in the few days after Sebastian went missing, in those original press conferences, they said that they were working under the belief that he wandered from his home, that he walked away, and that they were out searching for him, and it was just a matter of them finding him. That was the original belief.
Yeah.
Here we are several weeks later, and I think that that has changed because now the TBI and the investigators are saying everything is on the table. Every possibility is on the table. There's no evidence that points to foul play. There's no evidence that rules out foul play. So I think that that has kind of changed a little bit. That belief that he just walked away from his home, sure, that's a possibility, but it may not be exactly what they believe at this time.
Right. So Holly Thompson had an exclusive interview with Sebastian's mother and stepfather, and they talked directly to that point and said, you know, we don't even believe that he simply walked away based on his history. So take a listen to that.
He's not a runner. He's never run away before. I don't know why. I don't know why he walked out that door.
And so just kind of to clarify and give context to that, you know, they're basically saying that this is not something that he would do normally. He wasn't the type of child that would just leave regularly. So that's why this is confusing to them. If he did indeed walk out the door, why?
Yeah, and he could have. I mean, there's only a certain number of things that really could have happened. Either he walked away willingly and it's just a matter of people finding him. He may have walked away willingly and somebody took him. Somebody may have done something to him. I mean, there's only a certain number of theories at this point that could explain where Sebastian could have gone. I know that people with autism, kids with autism, some experts have come to us and say that that is something that they do. They wander. It's a reason that they check some of those bodies of water because they can be drawn to bodies of water. So it's like the word you used is mystifying, and I think that's the best word that we could use.
You know, earlier this week, it seemed
My nephew is autistic, and he's scared of water, like big bodies of water. He won't even go near a swimming pool. But did you guys see the demeanor in the dad? He was showing no remorse. He wasn't sad. The mom was sad, yes. You could see visible tears from her. But the father seemed kind of detached.
like a little nugget was dropped by investigators that could potentially lead us somewhere of value. And they had mentioned during a news conference the other day that a pair of glasses had been found during the search for Sebastian. They have since come out and said the glasses that we found do not belong to Sebastian. This is off the table as a piece of evidence or a clue in the case, for that matter. And we have also heard from the parents who went on national television, the stepfather and mother, and they have actually left their home because the stepfather has a job in Memphis. So they've left their home there in Sumner County to be there in Memphis for work. And there was some criticism for that decision to kind of leave while the search is happening around their house.
Yeah, they had said in that interview with Nancy Grace
Yep.
that it was for the stepfather's work. She asked them why, and the mother had said that she wanted to be there with her husband for his work. They have since, according to investigators, cooperated fully with anything that the investigators have wanted. Anything the sheriff's office has asked of them, they said that they have done. So yes, they've received some criticism for leaving, but as far as from what investigators have told us, they've done everything that they've been asked to do.
They also face some criticism just from people on social media saying, why did it take you so long to say something publicly? And in the exclusive interview that they did with Holly Thompson, they said, please don't judge us. You have no idea what we've been going through. And they talked a little bit about this emotional roller coaster with her that they've been on.
How are you coping?
We're on a constant roller coaster ride of helpless and hopeless and many other emotions all in one, and it's a never-ending roller coaster. It doesn't stop. It won't stop until he walks through the door.
And just a few days ago, you spoke with Sebastian's biological father. So we just heard from his stepdad and his mother, but you actually did an interview with his
Seth Rogers.
dad. Yeah, and it was such a profound interview and so gut-wrenching. Walk us through how that interview came to be, and then we'll play a little bit of it.
This actually came out, this was last Monday, and the United Cajun Navy had come in. They'd been searching for Riley Strain in downtown Nashville, and were here. And so after the resolution to Riley's case, they moved over to Sumner County and said, well, we'll help search for Sebastian. And we had arranged an interview at the place that they were sort of meeting in their command center. And they had asked Seth Rogers to join, and he came and was more than willing to talk to us for the first time. Was the first time I had a chance to talk to him. He's been out searching himself and was very moved by the attention this case has gotten, and you felt for him, and I know we have a piece of that interview.
Yeah, and what I appreciated about it was, the love with which he described his child. So take a listen.
Every day, I have to. Stop looking is to give up hope, and I'm just not into that. He is my heart. If you get to know him, you'll smile all the time. When you see him coming, you'll smile. When you hear his laughter, it's the sun coming through the clouds.
I mean, just to hear him describe his son like that, goodness. Yeah. It's just kind of gets your heart immediately. What is one thing that really stuck out with you? Because you've kind of been in the thick of it, Michael, boots on the ground reporter. You've been there among the search crews using all types of tools to try to find him. What's a moment or an exchange or something someone said that is really going to stick with you?
The attention that this case has gotten from the people who live in that area, who truly went out and were walking along rivers and in woods and checking their sheds as they were asked to do. We even got a chance to speak to some people who have autism or have children who have autism. And if you want to talk about people who have their eyes on this case, it's those folks who know what it's like to raise a child with autism, who know what it's like to have autism. And this case is one that they are thinking about all day, multiple times a day. And for them to get a resolution to this case would mean the world.
And I think it's something that just resonates with all parents, right? Like this is every parent's worst nightmare, and to see this unfolding is just so troublesome. Michael Warwick, thanks for sharing your perspective with us. We should mention TBI says they've gotten more than 300 tips. They're really asking people for a couple different things. Only share evidentiary information. So factual information, not based in rumor. If you're submitting a tip, they want to hear your tips, but they don't want it to be something that you heard on social media. And they're also asking people not to spread misinformation on social media. They say that can bog down their investigation. They got to spend time following up on leads that are typically dead ends. So those are the two big requests there. We are on top of the search that is happening today. We're going to bring you the very latest on air and in the WSMV4 News app. If you've been
My thoughts and prayers are with Sebastian Rogers' family. I hope they find this boy. I have no idea what the mom's going through, what the dad's going through. But it just seems like the stepfather is kind of detached a little bit, but not much. I know if anything like this was to happen to my child, I don't know what I would do. Or my nephew, who's 8 and he has autism. I don't know what his mom would do and his stepdad would do if something happened to him like this. But like always, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel and hit that bell notification for any new uploads. I'm going to keep following this case and see where it leads me in my search for truth and justice. You guys have a good morning. Peace.